Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our /JustNoMil. In today's episode, MIL is jealous of my mom. Might be going no contact while I'm pregnant. They're the worst. Wanting to go and see with MIL. MIL tried to throw my daughter a birthday party before I did. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. MIL is jealous of my mom. Might be going no contact while I'm pregnant. My so and I have an 16-month-old, and I'm currently 20 weeks pregnant with our second. Since the beginning of the year, So and I have been trying to look into moving into a bigger place for our growing family, as we are very tight on space right now. We reached out to my mom, who is a loan officer, to get initial rates / see if we qualify and for how much. Complicating things is that my MIL is also a loan officer. My mom has no issues with this, and my parents told us they don't care who we use, they just want us to do what's best for our family, like good parents should want. At my daughter's first birthday party, I thought MIL was acting kind of standoffish toward me. Turns out, she later told my so that she's annoyed we're using my mom instead of her, and accused him of not being loyal. We hadn't even decided on what we were doing initially at that point, including which of our moms we were going to use. We decided to see who had the best rates because that was fair, and it turns out my parents do. Mind you, my SO has bought his last 3 properties through his mom, including a multifamily property that he just bought last year. My mom is able to give us a better rate and cut our costs significantly, and his mom can't. We have to do what's best for us financially with the current mortgage climate, and it sucks that his mom doesn't care about that. Just thinks she's entitled to any loans we may get as a family forever, even though my mom is also a loan officer. Complicating things even further is that my so owns the condo his grandma currently lives in. MIL's mom. Grandma's pays just enough rent to cover most expenses, but we lose money on it, and we decided we would get a house with a mother-in-law for her to live in. She'd have a better place to live, and we could get rid of the old condo and be able to use the money to put toward a new house. A win all around. Grandma was on board too. MIL was initially on board, and then randomly the other day told my so that she wants a friend to buy it, and that having Grandma move in with us would basically be too much work for her. We live 45 minutes away, but she doesn't want to help with moving her or have to drive to see her. She also always wonders why she doesn't see her granddaughter often, but we always go to her. She never comes to us. She's just lazy. Turns out the friend is a realtor who invests in real estate. MIL says she would keep the rent low, but my so doesn't trust someone who's not family to own the place his grandma lives, and I don't blame him. Finally, So and MIL had a big fight over the phone, where MIL says she doesn't feel close to him anymore and he's choosing me and my family over his family, which isn't true. My family just lives closer and makes more of an effort to see each other. Since we moved to a new town a year ago, she has driven to us maybe 5 to 7 times total, while we've driven to see them probably 2 to 3 times a month. She then gaslight my husband, saying he'd be putting his grandma out of a home when he literally currently pays the mortgage for her current dwelling and does all the fixing up and maintenance on it. And we would literally be housing her in our own home with the MIL apartment. At no point would she be homeless. It seems like she's almost trying to make us getting into a new home harder because she resents us using my mom for the loan over her. Thankfully, So is in agreement that she's being unreasonable and immature, and he's ready to cut contact with her for the time being. Being that I'm pregnant again, I don't know how to handle this. I don't necessarily feel the need to have her meet our new baby at this point, and she was never super helpful with our current child. My parents have stuff to be able to watch their grandkids and have a place for them to sleep even. She has none of that in a very not baby-proof house. So consequently, our kiddo hasn't stayed there much, and I wouldn't feel comfortable letting her stay there for more than a couple hours, let alone overnight. Anyone else deal with going no contact while pregnant or with current kids? How do I go about this? Just follow SO's lead? We're having another baby shower and I don't feel comfortable inviting her, but we haven't told my parents any of this yet either because So is a little embarrassed by his mom's actions. MIL has made everything so uncomfortable and awkward now. I've never gone no contact with any family before, but I'm ready to after all this nonsense with my MIL. I don't have time for it. This isn't about the loan. This is about her thinking she is losing control of her son. She was likely bitter about your move and probably has harbored negative feelings towards you. And the loan choice was her way of trying to get her son to choose her over you. When he didn't, all of her feelings exploded. She hopes that her temper tantrum will result in him choosing her over you by doing things her way. To be honest, what bothers me the most is that she essentially stated that she was his family, not you. That tells me this isn't about the loan. This is a tantrum brewing for years. I'd cut contact now until she takes accountability and apologizes for causing all this drama. Neither of you is responsible for her feelings, needs, or emotions. He needs to make it crystal clear that he has created a family with you, and all of his decisions are made with what's best for the family he created with you. He needs to say it's really upsetting that she doesn't accept the fact that you and the kids are his family now, and that she would ever expect to be prioritized over his wife and kids, and he will never choose anyone over his wife and kids. Until she can respect that he has a family of his own, respect you as his wife, and respect his decisions, she can expect to not be included in your lives going forward. She likely has been using her position as the loan officer as a way of being privy to all of you guys' financial info, and she feels like she is in control because of it. The first time he goes with someone else, she starts lashing out to try to gain more control. She won't be the loan officer? Well, now she is going to tell you who will buy your place and decide where her mother should live. She wants all decisions to be made around what is best for her only, not you, not her mom, not her grandchildren, and not even her son. Your MIL needs to be put on an info diet if contact continues. She believes she has a say in her adult son's decisions that he should only be making with his wife. Obviously, his grandmother needs to know what is happening to help her decide what's best for her. But that's it. Because he is standing his ground, she may start manipulating his mother into guilting him to do things his mom's way. Since she's not speaking with you directly and arguing with you, so I'd simply drop the rope with her and let her stew in her toxic juices. Focus on who's there for you and your family. Your spouse has the shiniest spine, so thankfully you don't have to stress. I am so thankful he's also done with her bullshit. I have other stuff to worry about, like growing a baby and figuring out our move with a toddler and newborn. I don't have any plans on speaking to her for now. We were never that close anyways. I can have a hard time with confrontation, so I'm glad my So is taking the brunt of it, especially while I'm pregnant. Just feel bad for So. Your So seems to be doing a good job of making decisions about his mom, and he knows she is acting inappropriately. Follow his lead. Marriage rule number 1. You handle your family, I'll handle mine. They're the worst. My LO is 6.5 months old. My MIL has always been overbearing, but since having my daughter she has been naggy, entitled, and an overall asshole. When I was 6 weeks postpartum, she forced my FIL to send my ditch a text that said sometimes along the lines of this: "We are incredibly disappointed in the way you and Bloom article chose to be parents. We feel robbed of our grandparent experience since you never invite us over. We feel you don't like us and we are angry that we have to beg to see LO. We are so disappointed we had to wait a week to meet her." They had to wait a week because I was in the hospital for 5 days after the birth due to some complications with me. I didn't have anyone over until I was finally able to shower. Also, there's no such thing as a grandparent experience 6 weeks in. She's a potato and we don't know what we are doing. A little grace and some food would have been lovely, but thanks for the trauma. Ever since then, the relationship has been incredibly awkward, and I just straight up refuse to see them unless it's an occasion. There has been no apology and no remorse for the undue stress they put on a new family, let alone a postpartum mother figuring out her milk supply. That text stressed me out so bad that my milk tanked, and I worked overtime to get it back. Today I saw them at a dinner and the whole time was, OMG, what a daddy's girl. She looks exactly like dad. OMG, we never see you. You don't ever reach out or stop by. It's just crap, man. They literally never text and reach out to see how LO is doing. They never make a plan with me. Every time I see them, it's just jab after jab. And when I do see them, they make no attempt to engage with my LO. They don't ask about what we have been up to. It's just all a ploy to try and make it seem like I'm keeping LO from them, but they can't see that they torpedoed the relationship the second they put their wants over my needs. Ran over. I hate them. If they want a fantasy experience, they should visit Disneyland. Actually, I'm surprised that Disney Corp hasn't taken advantage and created Grandparents Land, complete with animatronic babies and robotic daughters-in-law that just nod and say, "Thank you so much." Maybe animatronic women giving birth, where the grands get to pull the baby out? Or is that too much? No, this is a billion-dollar idea. Send that shitty text they sent you back every time you see them. LMAO, I love this. I'm in the same boat. I actually just realized my MIL never asks about how LO is doing. She just cries that she never gets to see him. She sees him every 3 to 4 weeks. It's too much for me and never going to be enough for her. It's so annoying. They don't care how we're doing at all, either. They just want what random picture they've romanticized with our LOs that don't include us, the mothers. Edit to add. I was so happy after my son was born I let my divorced MIL and FIL visit an hour after birth. The second day, and MIL came over the 4th day of my son's life and first full day home. No matter how much you involve them, they will find a reason to complain. FIL has been amazing, appreciative, and supportive of our whole little family. MIL is only thinking about herself. OMG, she sounds off her rocker. Throw the whole MIL away at this point. We never see you. Let's keep it that way. Your SO needs to set boundaries and follow through. My FIL and SMIL dug their hole. They see my kid once every few months for a few hours because that's all I can handle. They made their bed. LMAO, I love the response. I'm in the same boat with the "we never see you" comments. I never reply with something like, "Well, you never call." I do not want them to call. Please do not call. Wanting to go and see with MIL. Hey all, looking for some advice from you lovely people. I've been with my SO for 7.5 years, and his mother has always been a problem for the whole family. Yet somehow we continue to entertain her delusion. I can give a million reasons, but I'll spare you. SO's parents are unhappily married and FIL is a decent man. He's not perfect by any means, but generally he has a track record of being a good dad to SO and a good grandpa to LO. I don't have a close relationship with him, but I can see his good qualities. I want us to go and see with MIL only, but the problem is, SO doesn't want to strain his relationship with his dad, which I understand. Since MIL and FIL are still married, they go everywhere together and do everything together, so it seems impossible to go and see with one and not the other. I don't know how to navigate this. All advice welcome. Stop going. Let your S/O go alone. I can't do that to him. It's us against the problem. Also, I don't want to spend holidays and birthdays without him. And would I keep LO home with me? Can you cut all physical contact, in-person visits, and limit phone calls, email, and texting to FIL's contact info? I don't think SO would go for that, even though he hates her too. Texting and calls is already really limited, and honestly, so are in-person visits. We usually only go for holidays and birthday, but each time is so stressful. It seems impossible to bite my tongue. SO has tried to reason with her, but she just cries and does the thing she wants to do anyways and makes us all bow to her. MIL tried to throw my daughter a birthday party before I did. Context: my beautiful baby turned 1 last week. She's our first. On her actually birthday, her dad and I took her to an indoor playground and got ice cream after, and it was the perfect day, just the 3 of us. We have a birthday party planned for her in early June, which is admittedly late, but ultimately how it worked out. We have one party planned that everyone is invited to. Period. We aren't doing any side quests and asked for both sides of the family to respect that. It's an honor and privilege to be able to do this for her, even if she won't remember. The story. A suspicious brunch invite was sent to us for this last weekend at my IL's. It was decently last minute, and the timing of it being so close to my daughter's birthday just set my spidey senses off. I asked DH to explicitly ask if this was a birthday celebration or just a get-together. MIL swore up and down that it wasn't, and she just wanted everyone over for brunch. Cool, we agreed to go. We get there, and there's presents and cake, and the whole family was invited to celebrate. I immediately shut it down and very firm that this wasn't to happen. Her response? You celebrated her birthday last week. It's my turn. Full passive-aggressive, running off and talking negatively about me within earshot. DH pulled her aside, and we left right after. She does this, though. That's why I knew this brunch was suspicious. You explicitly ask her not to do something, and she will do it anyways if she doesn't agree with your answer. Example. She announced my pregnancy at a party of hers after we explicitly asked her not to because I was having serious difficulties and hadn't told a lot of people yet. I can't stand this woman. Tell MIL she is not welcome to the birthday party you are throwing after her stunt. She needs to learn some boundaries. That, and she needs to learn her actions have consequences. I'd also take a long-ass break from her, maybe see her sometime in fall of 2025, but I'm vindictive. The absolute audacity of your MIL. I'd let her know that her stunt means she's no longer invited to your daughter's party in June. Actions have consequences, and without consequences, your boundaries are mere suggestions to her. The lion, the witch, and the audacity of that, you know. I'm so glad you walked out. You don't get a turn. She's not your child. I tell you one thing, if I couldn't trust someone not to lie to my face about my kid, they sure as heck would never be alone with my kid. No babysitting, no grandparent field trips, nothing nada. That is if I didn't drastically or completely reduce contact with that turkey. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.